Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Kaiser Report. You're watching John. I'm here with Kaiser, who has been out playing in the snow and is a little tired. He's sitting over there on the couch. He's very difficult and camera shy some days, and you don't always get to see him, but we'll get some postings in. If the snow continues that we're getting right now, he'll be out playing again in it, and we'll get some footage on that, hopefully, for you. It's been a rough time to go through the CNN, MSNBC, and networks of the like that bring us every day the untruths and what is really going on in and around our government with Doge and the president's interview last night with Sean Hannity along with Elon Musk was very interesting. I hope some of you got to see that. If you didn't, it's here on YouTube, probably in bits and pieces, but well worth the time to look into that. So if you can take a break from the View minus joyless Behar, now that she has been arrested trying to escape the country in a $50 million lawsuit that's against the View right now, with her as a prime defendant. We'll see who really cares about that. But the funny part of it is, take a look here.
When I was fired the last time from this show, people say to me, were you okay with that? And my answer is, I was happy.
Democrats in the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Caroline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
Daytime television has just been rocked by an unbelievable bombshell. Joy Behar, the fiery and controversial co-host of The View, has been arrested at the airport while allegedly trying to flee the country. And why? Because of a shocking $50 million lawsuit that could completely destroy her career. The drama is unfolding fast, and the details are even crazier than you'd expect. Did Joy really try to run from the law? Is her career officially over? Stay tuned, because this story is about to take a wild turn. Everything began with a single comment that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. During a heated debate on The View, Joy Behar made a highly controversial remark about Caroline Leavitt, the newly appointed White House press secretary.
Joy objectifying the White House press secretary, saying she only has the job because she's hot.
In a moment that would haunt her forever, Behar dismissed Leavitt's qualifications, suggesting that she only got the role because of her appearance.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
The backlash was instant and brutal.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
Social media erupted into a firestorm, with thousands of users demanding accountability. Political analysts, journalists, and even former colleagues chimed in, calling Behar's statement one of the most reckless comments of her career. Viewers from both sides of the political spectrum found themselves united in outrage, accusing her of blatant hypocrisy.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
Caroline Leavitt is the press secretary at the White House, doing a great job. Such a great job that the ladies of The View feel the green monster coming upon them.
For years, Behar had built her career championing women's rights and empowerment. Yet, in one careless moment, she had completely contradicted her own principles. The controversy quickly escalated beyond social media. Major news outlets picked up the story, with primetime anchors dissecting Behar's words and questioning whether she had finally crossed the line.
Caroline Leavitt, she's just 27 years old, but boy, was she giving it to the Trump haters in her first White House briefing.
They really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked for the role.
Prominent female politicians and activists publicly condemned her, arguing that comments like these set back the progress of women in leadership roles. The backlash was so severe that advertisers began pulling their sponsorships from The View, forcing ABC into damage control mode. At first, Bihar tried to brush off the outrage, claiming that her comment was taken out of context. But if she thought the backlash would fade in a few days, she was dead wrong. The more she tried to justify her words, the more the public demanded an apology. Calls for her immediate removal from the show began circulating, with petitions gathering hundreds of thousands of signatures overnight. This wasn't just another TV controversy. This was a full-blown PR catastrophe that threatened to destroy her career forever. Caroline Leavitt wasn't about to let this slide. Instead of issuing a simple clapback, she went straight for the jugular by filing a $50 million defamation lawsuit against Joy Behar. The lawsuit accused Behar of making malicious and false statements with the intent of discrediting Leavitt's professional reputation. Legal experts quickly weighed in, speculating that this could be one of the most expensive lawsuits in daytime television history. If Behar lost, it wouldn't just be a financial disaster, it would be a public humiliation unlike anything she had ever faced. ABC executives were reportedly in full-blown panic mode, scrambling to contain the damage. Behind the scenes, the network's top brass held emergency meetings, trying to decide if Behar was too much of a liability to keep on the show. And while tensions rose, Joy Behar made a move that shocked everyone. As the legal battle intensified, Joy Behar realized that things were spiraling out of her control. Sources claim she became increasingly paranoid, convinced that she was about to be financially ruined and publicly disgraced. That's when she allegedly hatched a plan to flee the country before the legal system could catch up with her. According to reports, Behar booked a one-way flight to Italy, her ancestral homeland, in a last-ditch effort to escape the potential financial ruin looming over her. However, what she didn't expect was that federal authorities were already onto her. As she attempted to board her flight, TSA and law enforcement intercepted her at the airport, leading to her shocking arrest in front of stunned onlookers. Passengers at the airport described the scene as pure chaos, with some even capturing videos of Behar being escorted away in handcuffs. Security officials later confirmed that she was detained on suspicion of attempting to evade legal consequences. The footage of her arrest quickly spread online, sending social media into a frenzy. With Bihar's dramatic arrest making headlines worldwide, ABC had no choice but to immediately distance themselves from the scandal. Within hours, an official statement was released, confirming that Joy Behar was no longer affiliated with the network. This decision sent shockwaves through Hollywood, dividing celebrities, journalists, and political commentators alike. Some defended Behar, claiming that she was a victim of cancel culture gone too far, while others argued that she finally faced the consequences of her own reckless words. Meanwhile, The View found itself in a state of chaos. With Behar gone, the show's producers rushed to find a replacement, unsure of how to fill the void left by one of the most recognizable figures in daytime television. The controversy also sparked heated debates about whether The View itself could even survive after such a monumental scandal. With Joy Behar facing serious legal trouble, the question remains, what's next for the former co-host of The View? Will she be able to clear her name and reclaim her reputation? Or will this scandal mark the permanent downfall of her career? And what about Caroline Leavitt? Her decision to sue Behar has propelled her into the national spotlight.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job. Maybe. But my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
How well you can do your job, and the American people agree with that sentiment. So it's about competence, skill, and merit.
It's not. So first of all, and I have had my objections to the job that Karine Jean-Pierre did, but she worked in politics for 21 years, 5 presidential campaigns, and worked in 2 administrations.
I was stunned and amazed by his new White House spokeswoman today. She's actually the youngest ever in that job. Rowan, I couldn't do that at 27. No nonsense, straight to the point, courage, detail.
But will she actually win the case? Or will Behar fight back with a shocking counterattack? One thing's for certain, this drama is far from over. The legal battle, the media frenzy, and the fallout from this controversy will dominate headlines for weeks to come. So, What do you think? Did Joy Behar deserve this fate, or was she unfairly targeted? Let us know in the comments below.
Couldn't happen to a nicer person and a less informed person than Joy Behar. And I remember back when she was on talk radio years ago, and the lying hasn't changed at all. The uninformed opinions that come out of that show are an absolute disgrace to that particular network, and why they allowed it as long as they have, and why the FCC has stood by and let them get away with the things that they get away with has always amazed me. But it's there. It's in your face every day, and they really don't care as long as they get their directed message of propaganda across to you every day, and the audience that sits there applauding for their ideas and their uncovering of untruth is unbelievable. But then again, they may have a hand-picked audience there, or maybe they're fooling with who is in the audience as well as some of the things that they say and people that they bring on to carry a narrative that we all know is less or more one-sided and less truthful to the American public. So Wednesday, hump day, is here. A scant couple of days, one a holiday on Monday, so we didn't hear a whole lot of the regular programming that was offered to us through legacy and mainstream media. But we know that we got our fill of the second string that was put in there to carry on most of these stations, such as Al Sharpton and the like. We had yesterday, which the interview came out on Fox, and then the rest of them talked about everything up to and including a plane crash, a Delta airline crash that happened in Toronto, and the media decided to come out and blame Donald Trump for that in Doge when it took place on a foreign soil and had nothing to do with our FAA. But I think the interesting part of that plane crash reporting was the fact that within hours, and probably even less than, Duffy was on the horn with the Canadian air officials offering help in finding out through the NTSB help what took place there. And we didn't see any of that nonsense from Buttigieg. Or we saw a lot of nonsense from Buttigieg, but we never saw him react to anything other than when the bridge was knocked down. He was on the phone saying that he was going to pay for it, along with Biden, within minutes. But that's the only time he reacted to anything. I think it's hard-pressed to even wonder why, when the train derailed in Ohio, why he didn't have any interest in going and talking to anyone or dealing with the railroad that was held at fault here and could care less. Didn't show up in western North Carolina or in Florida or Georgia or East Tennessee or Southwest Virginia when people all lost their homes due to Hurricane Helene. But he was director of transportation that tried to thwart everything from trucking to moving of goods through the country at a better rate than what was being charged them in diesel fuel and everything else that went up with our economy and inflation due to their policies. And now we have a government and pundits that want to point a finger at Donald Trump and say it was his fault. It was fine until he took over. Well, if you want to think back 4 years or 5 years, let's take a look at the economy the way it was when the Biden-Harris administration took over, and then we lost our way as far as price of goods and everything else. They can hang their hat right now on egg shortages, but the egg shortages were caused by the Biden administration, not the Trump administration. And that's clear and simple because in the factor that they wanted you to fear eating anything, including meat and chicken, they went out and murdered all the chickens and called it a prevention tactic for bird flu. And this was going to be used as a pivotal point in their campaign, which backfired on them, and it did not work one more time, and we're now getting used to the fact that the Democratic plan is devoid of a plan. And they use fear, and they use the threat of democracy. When these people put an end to democracy, when Joe Biden was forced to step down by Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama, and then installed Kamala Harris into running for president and spending $1.5 billion in a campaign effort which largely went to support friends, celebrities, and probably in Joe Biden's case, some of it went to family. It came out yesterday that the Republicans are no better at it because it was told to us yesterday quite quietly on the media platforms that Mike Pence benefited from campaign funds along with several other. When the swamp is completely drained and you get a look at the rocky bottom, you're going to see some bottom dwellers sitting there saying, wasn't my fault. We didn't know that. The fiduciary responsibility of people in this government has been, at best, none. Governance is very important when it comes to any corporation or any entity, whether it is a nonprofit or a for-profit. You have to have the leaders of these organizations understanding governance, and there should be checks and balances on every dollar spent in case of an audit and in case there's someone doing something nefarious behind the scenes. They will be have a light showing on them and held accountable. This has not happened in this government for so many years. And if you start with the Bush dynasty and end up with Obama and the nonsense that went on there, then you have a Trump administration come in, which they fought against from the day he came down the escalator. And then it did everything they could to impeach him and not let him learn what was behind door number 3 in the fun house, which is the government bureaucracy. Well, he had 4 years to study that as a president, impeached twice, and then he had 4 years of watching the destruction of the country and 4 years to think about and understand and study and learn exactly where the problems are. And then he found the people that are necessary to get these jobs completed as far as an audit of the books and an audit of the agencies themselves and find out where the dead wood is, cut out the dead wood, replenish the forest with people that want to work on behalf of this country, not on behalf of themselves. And then maybe we'll be back to where our founders put us, on solid platforms with the warnings that you won't have a republic very long if you don't continue to keep it. And now we're going to reclaim our republic and our democracy and our country back from the hands of foreign interests that benefit no one in this country in no way, shape, or form, and the importation of 20+ million people for a vote is illegal, and we're fixing that now. Although we have everybody under the sun crying and whimpering that this is not a good thing, and we're hurting programs that are helping people, and we're hurting programs that are helping children. It's all about the kids. It's all about the children. Remember that? Well, let's take a look at what happened to 300,000+ children and wonder, what were they talking about? Take a look.
We've got a report from Homeland Security that is just breaking. It appears that 300,000 migrant children have been released on Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's watch, and DHS cannot tell us if these children are safe, if they're alive, if they're being trafficked, or where they are.
Maybe this is why Harris Faulkner said this message. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. Here's Harris Faulkner. She said this, it went viral. Now everybody's even more curious with what's going on here.
Now, the second wave that Tom Home and the borders are for Trump has told me about, and all of this will focus on those missing children, hundreds of thousands of them that we know. And that number has started to already come down, Emily, from 300,000. So they've found about 75 to 80,000 of those kids already.
Now, obviously, when you see this, you're like, holy moly, are you kidding me? The number she gives. So what happens, PolitiFact.com on January 28th, which is yesterday, Fox News host Harris Faulkner claimed that under President Trump's administration, which resumed in January 2024, up to 80,000 of these missing children have been found. She cited 300,000, a figure often used in conservative media. Experts like Jonathan Baer from Acacia Center for Justice argued that these terms are misleading. They suggest that these children are more accurately described as administratively missing. You're 11 years old. How many things do you have organized in your life? Today, one of my kids has a training at 4 o'clock. He decides to jump on a bus to go to a track and field to compete. And I'm going with my friends. That's where they're going. Yeah, at that age, are we that organized to get everything in place?
How interesting that it's all about children. And we had that going on. And now we have Kamala running around in New York campaigning because she is going to run, I guess, for governor of California, and if that doesn't work out, she'll take governor of New York. What a step down, and what a drunken display in a theater surrounded by the sycophants of actors, Broadway actors, and DEI people. And we know darn well she's not giving up on that platform. The platform which told her we weren't going to accept it. And continuing in through these states, California might, because it is, I'm convinced now more than ever, the land of fruits and nuts. And there is my opinion, and my opinion only. But that brings us to talk about the lefties losing it right in front of your very eyes, they are imploding. They're dancing and singing in the street about what is going on that they don't agree with, and that is the look-see into where the corruption, where the fraud, and where the misuse of your and my tax dollars have gone and been spent on. They tried everything in this election, including hiring singers, actors, actresses, and the like to come out and tell us what we should think and what we should vote for. And now that apple is even turning. When you turn over enough rocks, you're going to find something slithering away. And that's what's happening to the Democratic Party. My God, even James Carville is upset about what he has seen in this last few years. And he's speaking out about it now, telling his party they better get back to basics if they are ever going to win an election again. And I have a parody to show you. It is a parody, and there is warnings on it, but you will find some really, really telling tales and a few laughs in this. So take a look here.
I had this thing where I believed what the left was selling, but now it's feeling like a lie. When they point fingers, I would blindly join the yelling. Turns out they're hiding the same crime. I should not have trusted their devices. They mask corruption with devices, but I've sought through disguises. It's all this time. Now I'm awake from their scheming, from the ways I am leaning, and I'm reclaiming my own meaning. For the first time, it's you. You're right. You're the problem. It's you. At the polls, everybody agreed. You point the blame while your own hands aren't any clearer. It's liberating, realizing you are not a hero. Sometimes I feel like every celeb's just a hypocrite preaching save the planet from their jets. Too rich to relate, living lives of sheer excess, while the rest live in debt. Did you hear their moral narcissism? They disguise as activism, like some Hollywood messiah. Now I wake up screaming, just seeing the truth that they've been concealing. While their voters keep on struggling, they're thriving all this time. It's you, you're right, you're the problem, it's you. At the polls, everybody agreed. You point the blame while your own hands aren't any clearer. It's liberating, realizing you are not a hero. I shared their dream, but their policies destroyed the nation. The middle class they've left for dead. They tax you blind, claim it's for justice and salvation, while they sip wine, break bread. The pundits gather round, branding others as the villains, screaming racist, Nazi, sexist galore. The media laughs, knowing they're the ones dividing. Identity games at their core. It's you, you're right, you're the problem, it's you. At the polls, everybody agreed. You point the blame while your own hands aren't any clearer. It's liberating, realizing you are not a hero.
Taylor Swift. Unbelievable. Bigger and better than ever in a year ago, and now not so happy because even the stars are realizing they may have backed the wrong horse in this attempt to finish the destruction and distribute the wealth that was told to us by Barack Hussein Obama way back when he ran for president, and he started the process, interrupted by Trump and finished by Biden. Plain and simple. And now our eyes are open and we have seen exactly what we were afraid of did take place. So it's Wednesday. I'm sure we'll hear more and more as the week grinds on. As he once said, I've done more in half a day than he has in 4 years, and I still have another half a day left. And this is the way to look at things when you're actually caring about the American people and the state of the union that we are sitting in and need help to fix. The curtains are being pulled back. The players behind the curtain are undressed, and they are trying their best to convince you that they have just purchased the emperor's new clothes and everything is fine. And Donald Trump is bad. Anyone he hired to help or anyone he appointed to a cabinet is bad. And this has been the playbook for the Democratic Party for the last few years, and it doesn't hold water anymore. And we now know, after seeing behind the curtain, that there may have been some chicanery going on there, and not good for this country or for any of us. It has been an interesting past 4 years, and I, for one, smile every day when I get up because I'm happy it doesn't exist right now. There's screaming and hollering is not affecting me, and it should not affect you. And the fact that they keep you in fear is the way they win. If you say, I'm not afraid, and move forward, they will lose, and they will never have a grip on you again. Do not live in fear of anyone or anything except for God Almighty. That's a person that you can fear for any wrongdoing you may have in your life. But even there, ask for forgiveness and you will receive it. But help another individual that's in need to understand that their life is going to be fine. No one is coming for you. No one is taking away your thoughts. No one is telling you what you can and can't say. Unlike what mainstream media and the Democrats tried to convince you of, no one is coming after your life, your soul, or your mind. So there you go. Pray that everything will come out fine. It's on its way, and we all need to help. And help is here if we ask for it. So with that, we're going to say have a great rest of this Wednesday. I wish you all a blessed day. And if you're fortunate enough to have the snow that we have coming down here, go out and have some good time in it. Look at the sky and thank you. Thank God for this day. and for the government we have now working with the people, by the people, and for the people. So stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more commentary, news bits, and a look at Appalachia. So bye-bye now. God bless.